Hello everybody and welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, hi, my name is Jessie and I do bookish lifestyle and planning content here on YouTube, and today I have a bookish video with lots of information packed in. So without further ado, let's get started. Grab yourself a beverage because it's going to be a long one, and we are starting with my wrap up for July, August, and September. So July and August were pretty busy with preparing for baby, so I really didn't read much. And then in September was the magical readathon, which I started but didn't finish, but more on that in a few minutes. So I wrote down all of the books that I read. I'm not gonna get into too much detail just because I think this video is gonna be a little bit of a long one, but I will link them down below, or you can check out my Goodreads and you can see for yourself what they're about. So for July, I read Wi-Fi Wifey by Sophia T. Summers. Very cutesy romance. I think I gave it a 3.5 stars, so not terrible. Next, I read Icing It by Emma Fox, which was pretty good. I think I gave it a 4-star. And Grumpy Romance by Nia Arthurs, I gave a 4.5. I love this series. And then that also brings us into August. I read The Prickly Romance, also by Nia Arthurs. They're just so cute. I love the stories. She tackles really cool topics. For example, Prickly Romance is about a couple who both have hearing impaired people within their lives. She has a sister and he has a daughter. He is a famous pianist. His daughter is learning to play piano. She are female main character. Her sister was hearing impaired, so she learned very early on ASL, and she has been working on a program that helps musicians, and I think that is so cool. So she is brought into his charity or organization for not just unprivileged children, but of many disabilities who want to be musicians, and it's really cool. I haven't looked into her as an author or her background, but it seems like she really cares about these topics, and you can really tell in the way that she writes them. After that, I read Abandoned by A.M. Wilson. Oh, both of the Nia Arthur story I gave 5 stars. Abandoned by A.M. Wilson wasn't my favorite. I gave it 1 star. There wasn't really much that I liked about it. I wasn't super invested in the story. Wasn't connecting with either of the main characters. Then I read Offside by Avery Keelan. This is a reread. I love this, 5 stars. I'm pretty sure I've talked about this series previously on my channel. Love Avery Keelan as an author. Love, love, love. All right, so that brings us into September, and I'll say what I read, and then we'll go over what happened. So I read The Broken Eye by Brent Weeks, or I should say I finished The Broken Eye by Brent Weeks. I read Storm from Fiona Davenport. Brent Weeks, 5 stars. Davenport, I think, was a 3.5. Shattered Vows by Shane Rose, I gave 4. And Daydream by Hannah Grace, I gave 5. I love Hannah Grace's writing. She's just a fantastic author. And Wreck and Ruin by Emma Slate. Another reread, but it's not my favorite. I actually went down in a star rating after this second read, and I think I went down to a 2.5 star. Just not my favorite. But we'll get into the magical readathon. So this took place in September, and I actually had my son at the very end of August going into September. It was actually right before the long weekend, and it was just hectic. We had a newborn. our schedules were crazy. Some stuff with his weight happened. I just was not in a mindset, and I didn't have the capacity to actually partake in the readathon. And I really tried, but it just wasn't gonna happen. And then in October, which is taking place right now, is the 17th, and it's Becca's Spookoplathon. I love this readathon. I've partaken in this readathon every year. She's put it on, as well as her other bookoplathons. And so I'm partaking in that this month, and I didn't want to do 2 readathons at the same time. So going into November, I have nothing going on other than work. So I really want to make November my magical readathon autumn equinox edition. And things have calmed down baby wise for us. We have you know, a schedule. It's not always right on point, but we've kind of got into the groove of things now, and he is doing fantastic, if anybody was worried or wondering about that. So we don't need to be on feedings extremely, like keeping an eye out and sticking to a strict schedule. So that's really exciting. So that's my plan for the rest of October and into November. I don't know what's going to happen in December. I think I'm gonna mood read, and if any readathons come up that I do want to partake in, I'll do a video about them. But yeah, things were hectic. Now they're starting to calm down, and I'm actually reading again, and it feels really good. And the house is in chaos, but I don't have to prep for baby anymore, and you know, baby proof the house and all of that jazz. So it's been extremely calm the last few weeks. And no, not every single day or every single month is going to be calm, but calm enough where I can start redoing the things that I love, and reading is one of those things. So that's what I'm going to be doing. But things I've read so far in October, and then I will do maybe an updated version of this at the beginning or the end of November, and we'll go over all of the reads that I'm going to choose for my own rendition of the magical readathon. So maybe that's what I'll do. But so far, I've really only read Throne of Glass things. So I've read Throne of Glass, the Pirate Lord, the novella The Pirate Lord, and The Healer. And I've also read Crown of Midnight, and I'm on Heir of Fire. I've also read Crown of Feathers by Nikki Popretto, and I have the trilogy on Audible, and I think I'm gonna make that my audio reads for the rest of the year, depending on how fast or how slow I get through them. One thing I do know I'm going to be reading though is, if you know, Becca and a bunch of other booktubers do a read along with different really long high fantasy series. She's done Game of Thrones, she's done Robin Hobb, and we're going into John Gwynne. And this is the first readathon I'll be partaking in, as again, things have been crazy. Some of the series I wasn't interested in reading, and so I did the Game of Thrones with the read-along, but I didn't do Robin Hobb and I didn't do Wheel of Time. They just didn't interest me, but I am interested in reading this series as well as the other series within this world too. I believe they're trilogies, but I'm super excited to get into this. I've heard nothing but good things. I am excited to dive in. This will start in November into December. I'm just super excited. So those are my plans for the next few months. An update for the past few months. I have, going into the new year, some really fun ideas reading wise, and if there's nothing going on in December and I want to mood read, I think I have a fun idea for a video, so stay tuned for that, and we'll see if something ends up happening in December, then I'll do it for January. I think that would be kind of a fun thing to start the year with, but I digress. Thank you so much for watching. Stay tuned for my magical readathon personal edition, I guess you could say, for November video coming soon, and what I want to read, what career I'm going for, all of that good stuff. And I will catch you guys in the next video. Bye.